The Rabaris have roamed these lands with their herds of animals for centuries. The arid tracts of the Run of Kutch. The men almost always in white, almost merging with the landscape. The mirrors in the women's black skirts defiantly twinkling in the sun. Rabaris are semi-nomadic Adivasis, largely pastoralists. Come September, some members from every family leave for the annual migration, the dung. They set out with their livestock in search of greener pastures. Kavi Rabari tells us that the men folk in both her marital home and her parents' household have left. She is currently living with her mother-in-law, sister-in-law and mother. Perhaps a default security arrangement for women in the dung months. They keep their forces together. With the men away, there is less housework. Young Kavi is busy most hours of the day running her business. Yes, she is the proud owner of an Usha Silai School for 3 years now.
મારું નામ કવિ રબારી છે. હું 21 વર્ષની છું અને ઉષા સિલાઈ સ્કૂલ ચલાવું છું.
For those who don't know, Rabari embroidery is historically legendary. It uses mirrors in a variety of shapes. Rabaris outline patterns in chain stitch and then decorate them with a regular sequence of mirrors and accent stitches in a regular sequence of colors. Almost all Rabari women embroider. It's a one-of-its-kind community-based initiative that enables poor village women to become small entrepreneurs.
સિલાઈ સ્કૂલ પહેલે અમે ઉમાં કામ કર્યા, ટ્રેનિંગ દેવા ગઈ 7 દિવસ કલા રક્ષામાં. અમને આવા સિલાઈ ઉષાનો મશીન મળ્યો. પછી અમે અહીંયા એનામાંથી અમને એમ થયો કે આ મશીનનો ઉપયોગ તો કરવો પડે, તો અમે અહીંયા બહેનોને શીખવાડ્યું.
The Silai School program has given traditional embroiders like Kavi modern skills. Now they're able to stitch finished garments out of embroidered cloth, which fetches them better prices.
હું મહિનામાં 7,000 રૂપિયા કમાઉં છું આ સિલાઈ કરી. 5, 6, 7 પહેલે આ બહેનો શીખ ગઈ અને અત્યારે તો 5, 6 અત્યારે બધી થઈને 15 બહેનો હોય. બહુ જ ખુશી મળે એમ કે આટલો અમને જાણવા તો મળ્યો ને, આટલો આ સિલાઈ સ્કૂલમાં અમને એમ કે આ મશીન મળ્યો, તેના પાસે બહેનોને શીખવાડું. મને પણ એમ જાણવા મળ્યો, બહેનોને પણ જાણવા મળે, શીખવાડીએ તો. સિલાઈ તો આવી જ કરી, આ કપડાં આમે જ સીવી પોતે. આ સીવી, આ રે એ પણ અમારે સીવવાની.
The Silai School program in its 3rd year running boasts of a national presence. As on February 2015, Usha International Limited, in partnership with 48 NGOs, is running 10,185 Silai schools across the country. The program has trained in stitching, tailoring and repairing of machines, and all these village women entrepreneurs provided them a sewing machine each, a syllabus and a Silai school signage. The women on an average earn 3,000 rupees per month, with the highest earnings going up to 18,000 rupees per month. This earning, though small at the moment, builds self-confidence, reduces gender inequalities and raises the status of these women within and outside the family.
એમ કે એનાથી અમને લાગે છે કે આનાથી જો સિલાઈ આ મશીન કે કાંઈ ન મળ્યો હોત અને સિલાઈ ન કરત તો આટલી ખબર ન પડત ને સિલાઈ વિલાઈ કાંઈ ન કરત તો શું ખબર પડત લાગે ને એમ થાય આપણે કામ કરી આપણા આમ હાથમાં પૈસો આવે તો વધારે સારું ઘરમાં એટલું બધાને સારું રહે એક કમાય આદમી તો શું થાય.
So what prompted the creation of the Usha Silai School program?
The other was a story in Bihar that we read about a woman who'd been marginalized with AIDS in a village, and she'd taken up sewing. From there she'd earned an income from teaching, and eventually she ended up being the pradhan of the village. So we found that this was actually very inspiring, and being in the sewing machine business, we thought that we could actually enable this sort of story in many places. And then the women that we have trained, we ask them and facilitate them to train 2 other women of their own accord with the same system. One is that Usha will do it, the other is that the women themselves will do it, and the third is that corporates are getting in touch with us to do this activity for their CSR initiatives. All these women are creating their own fashion. They're also being inspired by fashion designers, and fashion designers are also being inspired by them. So I think there's a connect. In terms of women being skilled up enough to be working in production houses, that is a potential.
A symbolic coming together was there for all to see at the Lakme Fashion Week 2015. As leading fashion designer Anita Dongre paid a tribute to 26 master crafts women from Gujarat.
That we know that women are not respected, they are not able to stand on their own feet, they are put down in families, put down in public also. If women were the employers of themselves and employing others, they'd have far more dignity in society and more respect too. An initiative which is focused on the creation of enterprise opportunities and employment opportunities for women, especially in the hinterland or in the urban poor areas and in poorer families, is to be the way for India to transform itself much faster than we have in the last 60 odd years.
We walk right into election fever as we land. The high-stakes battleground has Patna in its swing. Our destination is about 4 hours from this hubbub. A small village in Jamui, officially one of the most backward districts in the country. Poverty, illiteracy, unemployment and overpopulation. Under the assuring shade of underdevelopment, the Maoist guns have predictably gained ground. Meet Babli Kumari, 18 years old, already married for 5 years. When she turned 13, unwilling and unable to bear her economic burden for long, Babli's parents had got her married.
2010 में मेरा शादी हुआ था. शादी होकर घर गए, वहाँ से फिर लौट के आए. यहाँ कोई काम था तो आए थे, उसके बाद फिर गए तो उसके बाद जो है कुछ बोले नहीं, ऐसी मारपीट किया था, बहुत सा किया था मारपीट. फिर आए थे यहाँ, पापा को बुलाए, पापा भी गए, पापा को भी बहुत तरह के बात बोला था. मेरा ससुर जी, सास बहुत तरह के बात बोला कि पापा आएगा चाहे मौसा आएगा तो उसको मारपीट करेंगे। तो 2 बजे रात में मेरे ससुर ने गलम गाली पूरा किया, तलाक उलाक पूरा दिया। तो हमने पापा के फ़ोन किए थे, सुबह फ़ोन किए थे तो पापा और मौसा जी दोनों पहुँचे थे। उस टाइम में भी झगड़ा पूरा झगड़ा हुआ। फिर हमने चल आए। उसके बाद फिर साल भर कोई नहीं वहाँ से फ़ोन किया, नहीं तो कोई देखने आया।
Bubbly's family and she were being pressurized for dowry. On top of that, her in-laws were dead against education of girls and Bubbly wanted to study.
इसे फ़ोन किया था कि रजिस्ट्रेशन कराना है, तो हम बोले कि करा दो। तो बोला आएगी तो कराएंगे, नहीं तो नहीं कराएंगे, कागज को जला देंगे।
That settled it. Bubbly decided in her mind and heart that her marriage was well and truly over. Yet she knew she couldn't remain a burden on her poor father. She had to earn. With the help of a local NGO, she applied to the Silai School program and her fortune turned. She got her own Silai School.
यहाँ से जब बच्ची सीख कर जाती थी तो अपने घर में भी सिखाती थी किसी को। तो उसने आकर मेरा धन्यवाद दिया कि तूने बहुत अच्छा काम की थी, जो कि मेरा भी जीवन में बदलाव आया।
Education and financial independence has made Bubbly confident. She runs the Silai School, participates in social activities with a local NGO and has become an activist fighting child marriage.
जिस तरह मेरा शादी हुआ था उस तरह हम किसी को नहीं सोचते थे। मेरा बहिने थे, उसको बच्ची में शादी कर रही थी, उसको ने हम मना की थी, शादी मत करो इतना छोटा उम्र में। मेरा हो गया छोटा उम्र में शादी, लेकिन इतना दुख झेल रहे हैं कि इस तरह के किसी को ना हो।
Bubbly has little time to brood or regret. Her nightmarish marriage is fading in memory. Her students now are taking up more and more of her life. A few hours away in Islampur, Lakshmi Devi lives with her 2 sons and a daughter. Her youngest child was 3 years old when she lost her husband.
समय से फिर हम अपने ससुराल गए और वहाँ गए तो बहुत वो लोग बकझक करने लगा लोग। फिर भी वहाँ से मशीन लेकर के रक्सौल लाए और यहाँ आकर के और हम अपना सिलाई करने लगे और कर रहे थे जब तक में हमको ये उषा सिलाई मशीन का जो एथी था फॉर्म भरा रहा था उसमें हम भरवाए और इसमें सिलाई भी सिखाने लगे। धीरे धीरे आगे बढ़ते गए हमने।
Once the Silai School started, Lakshmi's life began to fall in place.
धीरे धीरे पैसे जब लड़कियां जब एडमिशन करवाने लगी तो पैसे मिलने लगे, तो वो पैसे से हमने आगे बढ़ते गए। बच्चे भी अच्छे स्कूल में पढ़ने लगे फिर और बदलाव भी उसमें आने लगी। और जब बच्चे कह रहे थे कि हमको ट्यूशन लगवा दो मम्मी, तो पैसे नहीं थे, लेकिन धीरे धीरे जब बच्चियाँ एडमिशन करवाने लगी तो हमने उस सबको ट्यूशन भी लगवाने लगे और अच्छा खासा से फिर खाना वगैरह भी सब चलने लगा। पहले तो बहुत दिक्कत था, लेकिन जब उषा सिलाई से मिला मुझे तब मेरा सब बदलाव आने लगा।
Lakshmi has taught over 100 students so far. Currently, her class has 30 girls and she has a ready stream of customers for whom she tailors clothes.
नाज़िमा खातून है जो पहले कुछ नहीं आता था उसको, हम सिखाए तो वो सीख करके और भी दूसरे को सिखाती है और वो सिखाती है तो हमको बहुत अच्छा लगता है कि अंदर में वो खुशी आता है जो कि वो कह नहीं पाते हैं, इतना खुशी आता है।
The April 25th earthquake that devastated Nepal had rocked Bihar as well. Uma Devi decided not to be a bystander. She got down to work.
जी पता लगा कि नेपाल में भूकंप आया तो दीदी फोन की हमके पास, तो दीदी बोली कि देखो सब लोग तो मैंने सहयोग दे रहा है, तुम लोग अगर सेंटर चला रही हो लोग उषा सिलाई, तो क्या तुम लोग सहयोग कर सकती हो? तो कहने कि क्यों नहीं दीदी हम करेंगे। तो कपड़ा मंगाई लोग, कपड़ा हमको बुलाई, हमको दी तो 3-4 हजार 100 पीस ले हम लोग सीकर सहयोग दिए। 10 तारीख को मैंने कपड़ा मिला था हम लोग का, 15 तारीख को कपड़ा हम लोग को रिटर्न देना था। 5 दिन में सीकर हम 250-300 ले कपड़ा मैं भी सी, अपना स्टूडेंट लोग से सिवाई, लड़की लोग से ही लिया कर दे दिए सर को।
When her husband had passed away, Uma's children were grown up. Her days had become somewhat empty. Also, she felt a desire to finally become financially independent. She associated herself with the Bhojpur Kala Kendra, and it's here that she found out about the Usha program. What began as an earning avenue has now become her life, her vocation, and her way to give back to the world.
मेरे पास तो 5 लड़की ऐसे कि उसको फ्री में हम सिखा रही हूँ, एक पैसा भी नहीं ले रही हूँ, और कपड़ा भी जो बचता है लड़की लोग से नहीं बचता है तो खरीद कर दे देती हूँ उसको सीखने के लिए। 5 लड़की है, एकदम फ्री सिखा रही हूँ।
Each Usha Silai School is a flavor in itself, each woman behind it a story. American aphorist Mason Cooley had once famously said, "Some food for thought as we pack our bags for our next destination."